one group was told to basically say, like, I identify as a healthy person, and the other person, I think it was this. It was one group was told to identify as a non-smoker, like, I am a non-smoker, and the other person was just told to identify as somebody who, or not identify, but just say, like, I'm trying to quit smoking. And the people who said I'm a non-smoker had a much easier time resisting smoking because it's not consistent with their identity. So identify as somebody who's not an impulsive spender. Identify as somebody who is fiscally responsible, and you may find yourself making different choices.
Rather than just like saying I am not allowed to spend money on food, but then being like, but that's not who I want to be. The kind of person who spends and buys fancy food. That's who I am. And you're like holding yourself in this cage. You're gonna break it at some point when you're frustrated with your limits.
And there's something else I want to just briefly mention here, but I think a lot of people believe they're not allowed to assume certain identities. Like, oh, LeBron James is an athlete. I'm not an athlete. Well, do you train for athletics? Have you done a competition? Then you're an athlete.
You're just not LeBron James.
Choose to believe it. You're not a professional athlete. You may not be an elite level athlete, but you're an athlete. You know? And maybe right now you don't feel like the kind of person who could identify as a fiscally responsible adult who has all their stuff together because you make mistakes sometimes. But you know what? Wear that identity. Who is going to care? And if anybody does take offense to it, does their opinion even matter?
Well, just prove them wrong.
Yeah, prove them wrong.
If you do enough of those habits, that identity becomes you anyway.
Exactly, right? So assume the identity, let the habits cast votes to provide evidence for that identity, and then you'll become more confident with wearing it. Now, you probably shouldn't do this with, like, doctor on certain things.
I actually identify as a doctor, so I would like to perform surgery.
Yeah, maybe not. I identify as president of the United States. Doesn't mean that I get to sign bills into law.
You can sign bills. They won't do nothing.
You know, athlete is not going to harm anybody. Financially responsible adult is not going to harm anybody. Person who cooks.
So those are like like lifestyles.
Lifestyle
not specific positions where you need to attain them.
Just identify as the kind of person who would behave in the way that you find yourself wanting to behave, and you will find yourself behaving that way more often. May not be perfect. You may still need systems, but it's more ammunition for your motivation.
You're saying I'm a reader, not I should read more.
Yes.
The second one sounds all guilty and downtrodden.
Exactly. I am a reader, which means that I'm going to read right now.